Hello again everyone, Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders Eternity. Continuing on with the Nightmare Mode series, we are on map number 2, Foundries and Forges. Let's get started. Starting off, as always, on my monk. And as I've mentioned at the beginning of all of these Nightmare tutorials, you don't have to have the stats I have. I'm not even really going to focus on my stats at all, as this is a relatively solid strategy that should get you through even in mediocre gear. If you're just coming into the game, it'll be pretty easy to get yourself up to the 2K mark in your chosen stats. If you've been playing it already, your best bet is probably going to be to throw away the gear you have now, unless it's really good, as you're going to get upgrades like crazy, especially using boosters on any of these Nightmare maps. So, I'm going to start off by just grabbing all the chests. This build, we're going to use this monk. Going to use a buff beam EV, a waller, and of course everyone's favorite, the summoner. So we're going to start off by just putting the RS stack right here in the middle. We're going to do Ensnare, Electric, Strength Drain, and Enrage. Now, if you've got decent aura range, say over 2K in range, you're going to want to reduce the size of your Enrage aura just like one click. So I'm going to go ahead and drop that one down a notch, and then go ahead and place it. And now it's time to bust out, pardon me, our waller. You know, obviously, you can see my stats there briefly on every character I bust out. You know, decent, but nothing to write home about. I'm going to go with a 2DU physical beam and a 2DU reflect on all three of the walls here, or all three of the entrances, I should say. Lots of more in-depth strategies for this map, but you know, obviously just being map number 2, it's still insanely easy, so pretty easy just to hold them off right here with just the one shard to protect. Or crystal, pardon me. And we're going to go ahead and just run this first wave with the waller, since I took my time a little bit here. Now, you want to get enough separation if you've got a lower gear set. You want to get enough separation in between these walls where any of the ogres that come in are beating on your physical wall and not taking everything out. So you want to space out your your physical wall with your archers and everything that we're going to put in. Pretty easy just to burn through, even not doing any damage. You know, obviously this is a waller EV. Just trying to help out the first wave until you get the archers in. Their archers can be just a little irritating, because they, depending on the range of your auras, they may not make it all the way into your auras. Now there's going to be a ton of DU left over, so say you've got decent auras but you've got really bad range on them. There will be plenty of DU left over where you could actually do 3 aura stacks if you needed to. I'm just going to kill them off with this weak-ass EV gun here. And my last archer here. Alright, so now we want to bust out our buff beam EV. You know, obviously these runs are not going to be for loot, so I'm not using any boosters. I actually may use some XP boosters to level up pets. Now we're going to put one buff beam here. And it's going to be a big one just because we got tons of DU. But we're going to start like right here. And we're going to go all the way to say, let's say right there. And then off to the archer. Or pardon me, the summoner. It's terrible. I'm just calling him the archer because the archers are so OP at the moment. You know, of course, if there's a major change with the summoner, I will redo these videos and strategies. But I'm just going to put 2 archers right there. Two archers right here. Of course, it doesn't matter which way you face them. And you know, I think just for giggles, I'm going to throw a 3rd archer in the middle. But I'm going to have to actually walk him in to place, as you're not going to be able to place him down so close to your crystal. So if you drop him down and then walk him in, that'll get it done. Now at this point, might as well just jump on the DPS and have some fun and shoot some stuff. And your DPS character, of course, will be your savior if you're in really, really awful gear. Not even going to bother upgrading. I will drop a few amulets just to get these walls all the way up, but not really going to bother too much with doing any upgrades. The auras do most of the damage, and the archers are just there for their ranged. That will stand out there and be irritating. Leveling up a genie here. The genies are kind of crap at the moment, but I'm hoping. I've got a fairy that had really, really high attack speed and decent stats. And I bumped that fairy's attack speed up with all of its ups. And got its attack speed up to like 25, I think. And I use it on my barbarian, and my barbarian can just stand in front of stuff and hit it. I mean, ogres, doesn't matter. And that fairy will keep it completely full. So I'm hoping if I do the same thing with a genie, maybe, just maybe, that genie will be a good source of mana at starting waves. You know, particularly, I'm assuming at some point, probably in the next content patch, survival for Nightmare Survival will be added in, which will open up loot farming and coin farming quite a bit, I'm assuming anyway. So of course, excited for that to happen. Now with the delays in this content patch, who knows when the next one will be out. And I'm using a steam gun that's mediocre, but my steam gun, the steam gun is kind of my favorite kind of casual AFK, not aiming and watching TV mid-wave gun. Of course I use the like for the boss fights, and it tears it up. I should have used an XP booster for my genie here, just to get some pets leveled up as I do these easier maps. I'm not going to bother now being wave 5. Now this genie doesn't have enough upgrades to get the attack speed up super high, but it does have a pretty decent base compared to other genies I've found anyway. Debatable whether, if you've got a decent DPS character, it's almost debatable whether or not you need to place anything else down but auras. Let's get these walls all the way up there just because we can. Gotta get me my crafting mats. Always loot the chests. You get just tons of crafting materials. Remember back in the day, I mean, on the original Dungeon Defenders, some of my best gear came out of chests on, you know, Nightmare hardcore survival maps. Now that crafting is in the mix, uh-oh, here comes that Nightmare lag. I got some baddies walking off into the sky on me. This map shouldn't be too bad with it as we advance through in this series. Assuming I'm going to get all those videos done prior to them fixing the current Nightmare lag issue. It gets really bad. Some of the maps are... you don't even see any mobs. You just see loot and mana flying everywhere. Two left. There we go. Alright, and then we're on the final wave. Should be a cakewalk. And let's get this thing going. So happy that Nightmare finally came out. Such a wait, you know, when you're anticipating it like we all were, and then it gets delayed. It's just always frustrating. I actually took a risk and had that first Wednesday that we all thought it was going to come out, I took a risk and had a vacation day from work getting ready for Nightmare, and then of course it didn't come. And then of course when it finally did release, I had several days to go before a day off, but led to some very late nights. I'll be using archers in a lot of these builds, as the summoner is such the badass right now. You will get some good entry-level Splendid Nightmare gear off of these easier maps, Nightmare maps, if you use boosters. You know, if you've got a good set of exemplary gear, you could probably clear this without any problems. And then with boosters, you're going to end up just getting massive, massive upgrades. I'm right at that point with the auras where some maps, the auras are just too small to really optimize what I want to do. I've got about 2200 range on them. Let's see what we got for completing. Yeah, 2 splendid pieces. Let's take a quick look. Whoop, take a quick look at them here. Crap, crap, and crap. That's alright. Got to take the good with the bad. But anyway, there is Foundries and Forges on Nightmare mode. Thank you for watching. Click that like button. Please subscribe to the channel. I'll be going through all of the maps here, so by all means, swing back by over the next couple of weeks here, and hopefully I get everything up by then. Thanks again. Talk to you soon.